welcome back to my channel. I've decided to film in a different place this time because when I filmed last week and I looked back over the footage, I thought that filming in a kitchen is a better place to film because I think the light quality is better in here, and I also think I can capture my face better on camera in this room, the way I can position the cushion on this table where I have my camera. So that's why I think from now on I think I'm going to trying to film in this room as much as possible, so I hope that's okay. Let me know if you like these changes or not. Anyhow, so in today's video I'm going to be talking you through a few recipes that I've made recently. And also, I also would like to talk, this might be over 2 videos, we'll see how we go. I also want to talk to you a little bit about a talk I gave recently at a local school. So to begin with then, recipe. Now recently I made, if you follow me on Twitter you would have seen the pictures because I posted them up on there. I decided to make pumpkin pancakes. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you will have seen that recently I stockpiled on several cans of pumpkin puree. And because while they had them, I didn't know how long they were going to be selling them for, so I thought I'd just get as many cans as possible because, you know, they keep. I might not get through them all this year, but then I've got them for future, you know, autumns if I need them. So I was thinking, how can I use these? So I was looking at ways of using pumpkin puree, and that's how I came across pumpkin pancakes. I've made them on 2 consecutive mornings. As often happens, the first time I make something, it's not as good as the second time. I improved them the second time. The first time I made them, I made 3 thin pancakes. The second time I made them, I made 2 fat, big pancakes, and I think it worked a lot better making 2 big, fat pancakes. I think that meant I could taste the flavour more, like the flavour was more dispersed throughout them. When you make them big, fat, you can sort of taste the flavour more. And also the second time I was a bit more generous on the pumpkin, which meant they were a more vivid orange. If you see my photos I put up on Twitter, they were the ones I made first of all when they were thin and a bit paler orange. I wish I'd taken pictures of them the second time I made them because they came out a lot nicer. But unfortunately I was uploading my camera at the time, so I couldn't take any pictures. So if you're interested in making them, this is how you make them then. I'll post the link below so you can follow the recipe on the website as well. It was actually on browneyedbaker.com I found these. So I used plain flour. I used 2 ounces, that's about 50 grams for 1 person. So what you do is, in a large bowl, you whisk together the flour. It says sugar. Now I didn't actually use any sugar the second time I made them, and I don't think you really need to add sugar, but if you want to add sugar, go ahead. I added a bit of baking powder, half a teaspoon, and I added a mixture of pumpkin pie spices. So that would include things such as cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger and ground cloves. In another bowl, or in a jug, I used a jug, I whisked together 50 millimetres of milk. Pumpkin puree, I added about a generous tablespoon. I might have even added 2 tablespoons the second time. I added just over 50 grams, so just over 2 ounces. I was quite generous on the pumpkin side. I added 1 egg, a teaspoon of walnut oil, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You could use any oil though, it doesn't have to be walnut oil, that's just what I had available. You mix that together and then you pour the wet ingredients over the flour mixture and you whisk gently until combined. You then leave the pancake mixture aside for about 5 minutes, you know, just so the flavours can marinate. The next step is you preheat the frying pan to medium heat. You drizzle the pan with a little bit of oil and then you ladle the batter into the pan and you cook each pancake for about roughly 2 to 3 minutes on each side until the edges are set. Patience here is critical. You wait until, I often sort of run round the edges of a pancake with a spatula just to kind of see, you know, is it ready to flip yet? Because it often takes trial and error. I've made quite a few pancakes now, so I'm quite good at noticing visually when it's about right to turn them over. Most of the time I get this right. Occasionally it's annoying because the pancake isn't quite ready to flip yet, but most of the time these days I just seem to get it right. With cooking, a lot of it you have to practice, you know. practice is how you learn with cooking. You have to see it visually. You know, you sort of get a sort of an innate, intuitive cook's wisdom, you know, after many attempts in the kitchen. A lot of it has to be practiced. It's very procedural. There's only so much you can learn, you know, from just being told. So practice is key. So you might, you know, if you haven't made pancakes before, you know, don't be put off if the first few times, you know, the pancakes split or you can't quite flip them. It just takes practice. You'll get there in the end. And I'm getting pretty good at this now, making pancakes, so they usually turn okay now. So yes, and then you flip, and then again, in about 2 to 3 minutes or so on the other side, and then they're done. And then you lay them on a plate. Again, what I did the second time I made them was I decided to fry bananas, to add bananas as a filling. And that's really nice. Just got banana, sliced it in half, cut the banana in half, and then sliced each half of the banana in half again lengthways, so that I had several strips of banana, and then I fried them in a little honey, so you sort of like caramelise the bananas, about 2 to 3 minutes on each side, and then I filled the pancakes with that. That was really, really nice. As I say, the second time I made them, making those thick pancakes instead of like really thin, crepe-like, I think was a lot nicer. But you know, everyone's different. You might prefer making several very thin pancakes instead of 2 big ones. It's up to you. But they worked really, really well, so I'd recommend those. And then the other thing I've done recently with pumpkins, so I've been having a sort of pumpkin-y couple of days because I had this can of pumpkin to use up. So the other thing I did on 2 nights was I made a pumpkin pasta sauce. And again, I'll post a link for this recipe down below. This recipe came from, it's Tuscan pumpkin pasta sauce. And it came from realfoodwholelife.com. I came across this website on Pinterest. And this was really nice. So what I did was I cooked some spaghetti. That took about sort of like 9-10 minutes. But before I cooked the spaghetti, first of all I chopped half an onion, and I chopped some cloves of garlic. I think I used about 2 cloves of garlic, because I do like my garlic. You heat the oil over a medium heat. I used about, you know, a teaspoon of olive oil in a medium heat in a saucepan. I then added the onion and sautéed that until soft, which took about 5 minutes, stirring frequently. I then added the onion and I stirred that in for about 1 or 2 minutes. I then added pumpkin puree. I added a generous tablespoon. I added tomato sauce. I used half a can of passata. That's that really finely blended tomato sauce, which I think I actually prefer to canned tomatoes because the texture is nicer. It's like very thin, almost like soup-like. Added a tiny little bit of honey. You don't have to add honey, it just brings out the flavours, you know, a little bit of sweetness. A little bit of water, just a splash of water, and I stirred it all in to combine. Again, I stirred on a medium heat until the sauce begins to bubble. Then I turned the heat to low and I simmered that for 10 minutes, stirring occasionally. At that juncture, when you get to that stage, that's when I cooked up the pasta. So you boil the water and add the pasta, follow the pasta instructions. I used spaghetti, so that took about 9 to 10 minutes, so that tied in quite nicely. Towards the end of the cooking time, I added coconut milk to the sauce, half a can of coconut milk. I used 200ml packet, so about 100ml of coconut milk. I added a little bit of cinnamon, that's optional, but the recipe says you can use cinnamon and it worked actually really well. The recipe involves sage and rosemary. You can use both. I use sage. So you can use both sage and rosemary, but you don't have to. You could just use one or the other. If you don't like any of those herbs, you can omit them, or you could use other herbs, you know. This is just the recipe. You know, you can obviously differentiate. I use sage this time. I don't know that I really like sage. It's okay. I hadn't had it for quite some time. So next time I might use rosemary instead. But you can use both if you want to, or omit them. It's completely up to you. So I use some chopped sage. So you add so at the end of 10 minutes, you add the coconut milk, the cinnamon, the herbs, and you stir to combine. You season it with pepper, and then you you drain the pasta, and then you toss the pasta with the sauce, and that's how you make it. I actually had this pasta dish in my new pasta bowl, which I recently bought from Kath Kidson. If you follow me on Twitter, I posted some pictures of it up there. I could show it to the camera, but my OCD's a bit kind of... I don't really want to bring it out, because every time I bring it out I get a little bit triggered, because I talked to you about this before, I think, but I have this thing about objects being in their places correctly, and if I took it out of a cupboard, I'll be OCDing a little bit about getting it back exactly how it was before, so it needs to stay in its place until the next time I'm using it. But I can describe it to you. If you follow me on Twitter, of course, as I say, I've already posted pictures up there. I can describe it to you. It's basically a very deep pasta bowl with a picture of a deer on it, and pink flowers. It's very, very pretty, and you don't see the deer when it's covered with pasta. You just see some of the pink flowers, but when you finish the pasta, then it's going to appear as the deer is revealed. So it's a really nice pasta bowl, very deep, keeps the food nice and warm, and it's good when you've got lots of sauce there, because I didn't previously have a pasta bowl. So previously, I was eating my pasta off plates, which is fine when I don't have much sauce, but when you've got sauce, this is a really good bowl because it collects the sauce, so I'm very pleased I bought it. And in actual fact, I was also thinking that the sauce could also be used as soup. You could have it as soup, and if you have it as a soup, you just blend it if you want it blended, or you could just have it as it is, but it'd be really nice as a soup as well. So it was it's really, really nice. But anyway, so this finishes this video now, and I'm going to be moving on to video number 2 now, where I'm going to be talking to you about a talk I gave recently at a school about autism and women. So moving on to video number 2 now.